What's up, YouTube? You're watching Cam Gaylor, and today I wanted to do a long-term review with the PSA Dagger. Sorry if I cough or have the sniffles. I've had a little bit of a cold, but I've owned 5 Palmetto State Daggers. I've owned 2 of these full sizes and 3 of the compacts. I also own a micro, but that's a whole different gun. But anyways, we're going to talk about the Dagger. We're going to talk about its strengths and its weaknesses and what is it good for. Well, they run about $300, whichever way you have them. And are they a good buy for $300? In a previous video, I put best budget pistol, and I'm not sure if I really stand by that anymore. In some ways I do, in other ways I don't. So we're gonna get into it. This is my last Dagger, and I do plan on selling it, so I wanted to make this video. Now, quality control. That's the first and foremost thing with Palmetto State Armory you hear complaints about, and I gotta say there is some quality control hit or misses with it. So I've owned 5 of these. Some of them out of the box have really good triggers. Other ones not so much. Like this one here, it's got a very mushy trigger, so there's no wall when you have the take up. No wall, it just goes all the way back. You never really know where it's gonna break. It's just a straight mush all the way back. Other ones have more of a Glock style buildup of a wall, and then it pulls the trigger. It's very predictable of where it's going to break. So some daggers are gonna have a better trigger than others. Some of them have a very gritty trigger where it's like it almost skips back. So dagger triggers are very hit or miss. Now I have the Rock 5.7. My Rock 5.7 by PSA has a great trigger right out of the box. My Dagger Micro has a great trigger right out of the box, and I feel like my Micro is all around made a little bit better than the regular Dagger. So as far as durability and things like that, reliability, let's go for reliability. I've shot a crap load of ammo through my daggers and no jams. I've never had a single jam style malfunction like a failure to feed, failure to eject. I've never had any of those. What I have had is a breakage, which in my opinion is a little bit worse. Now, not this gun, but another one of my daggers that I had. I've sold it since then. The slide stop, slide release, whatever you want to call it, the link that goes to the little part in here, that metal piece broke on it. Broke. So what that did is every single shot I would do, it would like lock the slide back. Like it was causing the gun to have a catastrophic malfunction. And it was just regular shooting. I actually have the video where it broke. It got like no views, but my dagger broke on video, and you can go watch it. And I also have videos talking about fixing it. The fix is easy. It's like a $6 part. You can throw in another PSA part for $6. You can throw in like the Glock part for like $12. So I do believe that the quality control of a dagger is not as good as other brands. And that includes brands like Taurus. I think for around the same money, maybe even less, you can get a Taurus G3. And I do think that they are a better gun out of the box than a PSA Dagger. That being said, the PSA Dagger is basically interchangeable with all Glock Gen 3 parts. So as a base gun, they're kind of crappy. I mean, I've said in videos before, I think they're a great buy. And because of what I'm about to say, I think they are a great buy. You can slap any kind of Glock parts or Glock aftermarket parts for Gen 3s in the dagger. So you can make it a really, really good gun. You can pull out the questionable trigger and throw in a really nice trigger. You can take out that questionable part here, that Gen 3 slide stop, and put a Glock OEM slide stop in it, or an aftermarket slide stop that you trust more. So you can make these guns a little bit better. They take Glock magazines. That's another huge plus. So anything basically that a Gen 3 Glock can take, you can throw it in your dagger. You can put nicer barrels in. Now I have a PSA barrel that's gold, but I've had different barrels. You could throw like Lone Wolf barrels, whatever you like in there. Ergonomics wise, let's look at ergonomics. I do like their grip. It has sort of the sandpaperish texture. Reminds me similar to a M&P, like the M&P EZ, the Shield EZ. It's not as rough as the M&P 2.0, but it is about the same as a Shield EZ. So I do like the grip. The hump fits my hand really good. All around, ergonomics are good. You got front and rear serrations. No loaded chamber indicator that I can tell. Glock pattern sights, so you can put whatever Glock sights on it, aftermarket sights. Glock takedown. Overall, the ergonomics are fantastic. 10 out of 10. It's basically a Glock Gen 3. The fit and finish build quality is where you run into more issues. And like I said on my Rock 5.7, the finish on these guns aren't as nice as some of the other guns out there. You can see there's some wear on the hard corner, on that corner there. The finish aren't as nice as like my Smith & Wesson M&Ps, or even right over here, my Springfield XD. The finish is just better on the Springfield. It's got better finish, in my opinion. The PSA stuff, the finish on these, I would say it's more like a Ruger. Ruger kind of has worse finish as well. That's the way I would classify it. Now, my Micro Dagger, it's got like a Cerakote finish, and it looks much better. I think these brands that just go cheap, they should just Cerakote everything, because my Micro Dagger, it feels better and it looks better. The inside, let's take it apart. Let me set the phone down real quick so I can take the slide off. Let's look and see if it has milling marks, because I know on some of my daggers there were really noticeable milling marks. Let's look at this one and see if it has it. While some of my other guns didn't have that. So yeah, you can see the milling marks. So it's a roughly done gun. I've seen this in other guns, mostly on like Russian stuff. So like foreign guns that are from Eastern Europe, you'll see a lot of the milling marks. But you can see that big gouges of the milling marks. Now it's inside your gun, so it doesn't matter as much, and it's never caused any kind of reliability issues. But like the insides of my M&Ps, they don't have that. The inside of my XD here doesn't have that. There is a quality difference between the PSA and some of your competition. Now, does it actually cause any kind of issues? No, it doesn't. It's just attention to detail that they don't take that other brands do. So if I can get this, let me set my phone down real quick again so I can put this together. So they don't spend the attention to detail that some of your other brands will, and it shows. You know what I mean? Like it clearly shows that they are a budget company. For around $300, here's the deal. If you're going to keep it completely stock, I would say get a Taurus G3. For around $300, you can get a Springfield XD, which is leagues better. This gun is much better than this gun. So I was kind of wrong before when I said this is the best budget pistol. I go back on that statement. If you're going to keep it stock, I say get a Springfield XD or a Taurus G3, maybe a CZ P10. Those are all better. And then if you are going to upgrade it, though, that's where this thing comes in. So if you're going to put a bunch of Glock parts on it, get the Dagger. It's going to serve you well. It's going to be a good base thing that you can come in later and put Glock parts all throughout it and customize it the way that you want it. If that's what you're doing, then I think the Dagger is a good gun. It is a good buy. If you are going to put aftermarket parts all over it, then it's great. It's just you're going to sink more money into it. So that's the way I feel about the Dagger. Is it a good buy? If you're going to customize it, yes. If you're going to keep it stock, get something else, probably like a XD. So does it get a thumbs up from me? It gets a thumb sideways. It's not a thumbs down, not a thumbs up. And in the past, I gave it like 2 thumbs ups. I had my approval on it. But guys, I've owned 5 of these things, and I've seen where the quality is all over the place, sort of how they are made. And I'm not super impressed, just straight from the factory, to be honest. My Dagger Micro, much better. My Rock 5.7, I feel like, is much better. But just these standard daggers, I feel like they are rushing these things out because they're probably making an absolute crap ton of them, and they just don't have the quality control. Let's go over the specs real quick before we go. The overall length is 7.15. So from the back to the front, 7.15. Height, 5.71. Let's see. The width is 1.28. So pretty thin, not bad. And then the weight is 22.5 ounces. So I mean it's lighter than M&P, it's lighter than XD. So it has good things going for it. It's more Glock-like. Good things there. You got a 17 round magazine. It's a overall basically like a Glock 45 on size. Same size as a 19 up top. Same size as a 17 over here. So it's the same size as a Glock 45. But anyways, guys, that's my review of the PSA Dagger. My mind has changed. You know, like I said, I put out the videos before raving about it, and I apologize. I was wrong. I'm going to say it's just kind of mid. It's kind of meh, but it can work for you. Overall, pretty reliable, but also kind of meh at the same time. That's how I feel about it. I'd like to hear your opinions, and I apologize for putting out earlier that it was awesome because, you know, I think I rushed the gun after having a lot more experience with it. Just get something like this. Get the XD. Get the Taurus G3. The G3 is better. Thanks for watching, guys, and I will see you in the next video. Bye-bye.